here. Then I go to the beginning of the family story. It says, life, the Kincaid family, like branches on a tree, we grow in different directions, yet our roots remain as one. Then we have the page for me and Tim when we got married, our kids and grandkids and great-grandkids. Then we go to my journey story from when I started doing my family history and what I got into, our married when we got married, my mom and dad, his mom and dad, and the 4 sides that I'm going to be researching in the family history, which is Johnson, Hankins, Kincaid, and Tony. Then we went the next level back, and we talked about my grandma and granddaddy Johnson. Granddaddy's name was Rob. His grandma's name was Dolly. So we got that little information where they lived at. Granddaddy was a hunter and a fisher. He liked to fish a lot. And then, of course, they had chickens and ducks and everything. And then they lived on the creek. Okay, then the next one we bring in is my grandma and granddaddy Hankins side. They always have those 2 big blue chairs up on the porch. You'll know, if you live around here, you'll know what we're talking about. This is Granddaddy Hankins. And he loved to watch people. I missed the page, sorry. This is Grandma Hankins. And this Granddaddy he was a people watcher. He liked to go down to the park and watch people. And they were a great couple. And they had 7 kids. So this week, we are going to go back on Timmy's side. I've been looking for the pictures that I have of Grandma and Grandpa Tony. Haven't tracked them down yet. I got a lot of pictures in a lot of different areas, so I will work on that. But I do have pictures of his grandma and Grandpa Kincaid. Now, their story is just a little bit different. I mean, everybody has tragedies in their family, so, you know, you just rock and roll with whatever they are. But first, we're going to we're going to do this one the same way we did Grandma and Granddaddy Hankins, in that we are going to cut the page down. Let's see. Our picture is, okay, that'll be good right there. So we're going to cut it down just like this. Just cut it right straight across. Well, as straight as I can, people. As straight as I can. To that end, and then stop. Because what you want to do is not cut the spine of your book. Because if you do, then all your pages are going to fall out. So you got this extra piece of paper you can get rid of. Okay, so then we're going to take our pencil and, and draw. So that we can do the same thing with the page underneath it. I would use my ruler, guys, but I have misplaced it since the last time I was doing the journaling pages and have not been able to locate it. Now, does that mean I don't have 10 more rulers at the she shed that I could go and get? That does not, because I could definitely go get them. But I didn't think about it till just now, guys. So, there is our pages cut down. So, what I'm going to do this time is we're going to start with the pink pages, pink washi tape on both the outside edges. Because we're going to start with Grandpa Ray when he was little and end up with Grandma and Grandpa on the end. Alright, so here is the pink washi tape. Smooth it down. Take your scissors and cut the excess off. Go all the way to the back page and do the same thing. That way, no matter where you're seeing this at, you'll see this pink tape and know this is their page when you're scanning through it. There we go. Now, see what we did on this one. Yeah, we went across the top on the insides of these. So let me erase that off where I wrote on it. Don't want to have no extra writing on it. All right, so we'll take the let's take the blue and put it on the inside. Take it to the end here. Cut it off where it's even. Looks like I just tore it the last time, which I probably did. Let me turn this book upside down so I can get to the corner here. It looks blue when you get it together, but it's actually purple. Here we go. Cut it off. Let me see if I can just wrap it around, see if it'll let me do that. Give it a little bit extra protection on that end over there. If anybody that's in the family has pictures of the family that they wouldn't mind to share with me, send it to me on Facebook Messenger, or you can send a copy to Kincaid Special Creations at gmail.com, or you could just, text it to me if you have my phone number. All right, so there we go. Now we have all of our pages divided off. Get this a little bit out of the way here. So now, what we're going to do, as I was saying before, this family was fraught with all kinds of bad things in their life. When Ray was just 8 years old, he was born in 1908. When he was just 8 years old, he lost his dad in a coal mining accident. So his mother, Elizabeth Bryant Kincaid, married Arthur Neff. And this is the earliest picture that I currently have. If you see this little boy right here, that is Ray Kincaid when he was young. That is my husband's father's father when he was little. So we're going to take this picture and put it on the top of this page as an introduction to James Ray Kincaid. And the story that I wrote for it, it says, this side of the family is a little harder to find stories on. Grandpa Ray was born in 1908 and was 8 years old when his father was killed in a coal mine accident. He married Grandma Ellen in 1930, and together they had 5 children, 2 of which lived and 3 passed away at an early age. Grandma Ellen was born in 1913 and passed away in 1939. This side was haunted with multiple sorrows in their life, but it's a testament to both of them that Dad Kincaid was born and raised a big family from which the whole family has become. So we are a united family because their strength to endure all the things that happened in their lifetime brought them to the point to where they had James and Ray, John and Clarence, and raised them up to be good kids. So there is that part. Actually, that was supposed to be on this side. Anyway, it's over there. So this story is about Grandpa Ray's mother and his stepfather. Ray's mother, Elizabeth, remarried after the death of her father to Arthur Neff, and they had several children that are in this picture. In this picture, you will see Arthur and Grandma Neff, which is this picture right here. Some of their other family members, He also had a brother named Charles that was also killed at a younger age when he was hit with a train when the truck he was riding in was stuck on the train track. So right there is two very nasty accidents that happened to the Kincaid family. John, the older John, was killed in a coal mine accident. That's what Timmy's great-grandfather's name was John, as well as his father's name was John. So there, I decided, if you noticed, I decided that instead of writing my stories that I wanted to put in here, there's plenty enough of my handwriting in this that you can tell I can't do handwriting on the fly. So I wrote my stories up in these little things that I can just cut out, and makes it easier. You don't have to sit and watch me just, sit and write it all out, think it up and write it out. I can get it done ahead of time. So this is the Kincaid family story. This is where Timmy's dad and his dad, that's their story when they were little. He lost his great-grandfather at an early age. He lost his father when he wasn't but 40 years, when his dad wasn't but 40 years old. He has more tragedy coming up in the future. But speaking of the death of his father, Ray, when all things were the way they were back in the day, if you had a job, you were doing good, and if you didn't show up for that job, you didn't keep that job very long. So one day, Grandpa Ray is walking to work. I'm not sure where he was coming from, but he was walking to work. And as he was walking to work, there was two boys in cars that were on this road that were traveling at way too fast a speed. This is a story of watching your fun time to make sure that somebody else don't pay for you having fun. So Grandpa is now walking on the road, and the cars are coming up behind him. And I don't know whether they lost control. I don't know the specifics because there was no... I got to go find a newspaper report of the thing, which I will try to do sometime this year. Anyway, they were racing, and one of the cars hit him so hard that he went across the road into the gas pump, where, of course, he passed away because they broke his spine. But that is the story of the tragedy of Grandpa Ray. He was innocently enough going to work when he was struck by one of the two cars that was racing on Route 60. We've had a few of those type of accidents in this area. There's one straight stretch up the road. I guess they think it's fun. But always remember, as you're doing things that are fun, and you're especially a young kid, I don't know if any young kids will be watching this, but if you are, please be mindful that having fun is great. But if you lose control or accidents happen, as they say, somebody is going to pay. It could be you. It could be somebody that you hit. It could be something that, you're not even aware of at the time, but you really, really, really need to pay attention. And fun behind the wheel of a car is not the best place to have it. And that's my preaching for today. All right, so now we're coming to the story of Grandma Kincaid. Grandma Ellen. Her name was Barbara Siney Ellen. She got married. She was born in 1913. She got married in 1939 to Ray Kincaid. They had 5 children. They had Raymond, Kenneth, Howard, Richard, Charles Lee, James Ray, and Marie. Well, Raymond, they just called him Kenneth. Kenneth and Richard died at a very early age. I don't know whether they got sick. Maybe they took the swine flu that was going around at the time. Anyway, both those young men passed away early. So that was already devastating enough on the mother. So they're out and traveling in the wintertime. Don't know why she was going home by herself. Maybe she come to a creek that was swollen. But she had to get from one side of that creek to the other side of the creek to get to her house. And it's in the very last part of December, first part of January. I'm not sure. Anyway, she walks across this creek in that frigid water. Well, just a few days later, she has Marie. Well, because she walked through that cold water, she had pneumonia or something. Anyway, she died just soon after childbirth. And then Marie passed away also because she wasn't old enough to survive on her own. So therefore, that was the next tragedy in Dad Kincaid's life. He first was without a grandfather that he never knew, but he didn't have his actual grandfather. He had a step grandfather. Or a stepfather. And then he lost his wife. He lost his 2 boys. Then he lost his wife with his daughter. Okay. And then a few years later after that, she died in 1939. He died in 1948. A few short years later, he has a very horrible accident and passes away. So it is the hope that most of the tragedies in the Kincaid side of the family are now done. As anybody knows, me and Timmy have already lost 2 girls. So our life continues as it goes down the line. But anyway, that is the story of my husband's grandmother and grandfather on his dad's side. Her name was Barbara Siney Ellen, and his name was James Ray. And that is the only picture that we have of them as they were married. So if you're out there and you're watching this and you have stuff that can assist me in telling these stories, I really would appreciate it. All right, so there we go. So next week when we do our JLB channel, we are going to be going into another realm. We now have I think we went back on the Kincaid side the last time, and this time we'll go back on the Tony side. So here is the picture. This is what we added today. The story of the Kincaids. This is Ray. His background story, his mom's background story. And then we told you of the bad accident that took his life. And then the bad accident that took his wife's life. And so we are just thankful that we are being able to keep these stories told so that the generations that come after us can now know the stories, the good stories, the bad stories, the in-between stories. All that stuff has to be, should be, don't have to be, but should be documented somewhere. And if you just get you just a little blank book, it doesn't have to even be one of these. It can be a scrapbook, a plain composition book. You can even use one with lines on it if you want to. Get you some printer paper and a hole punch and a notebook and start your family journaling. Let me get all this paper out of the way. All right, guys, this wasn't a very long one, but their story needed to be told today because they were the next one in line. Now, the next time, not this next week, but the following week, I will be doing these pages on Grandma and Grandpa Tony. So if anybody has any stories they'd like to let me know about, feel free. All right, y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.